Last night my friend hit on a worker at Taco Bell, then treated him like shit when he actually called her. Would it be appropriate for me to go and apologize on her behalf? Or is that ripping the wound open? Everyone about 20 in this. We went out drinking last night and stopped to get Taco Bell on the way home. They are doing curbside delivery, so my friend was really hitting on the guy who brought our food out. He was not a bad looking guy and you could tell that he was very nice, but probably not used to getting attention from a girl dressed like she was at 4 in the morning. She actually did such a good job hitting on him that I actually thought I was going to talk her out of cheating on her boyfriend. She talked to him for at least 10 minutes and gave him her number when we were leaving and specifically told him to call her when she got done with work. I heard him say he would be done in about 30 minutes. Well, it was like 15 minutes later and he called. The phone was connected to her Bluetooth and the guy was so nervous and sweet sounding. When he started talking, she said, "I don't even know who this is," and you could actually hear the poor guy's voice start to crack, and then he said that they had just met at Taco Bell. He then said, "Did I really look like I would stoop low enough to date a guy who smelled like Taco Bell farts?" She then asked him how much money he had. He asked her what that meant and she said, "It doesn't fucking matter, you poor asshole," and hung up. She and my other friend, who are much closer than I am to either one, started laughing and saying how brilliant it was. I had no idea what to say. I felt so bad for the guy. They dropped me off, and though I didn't say anything, I am going to radically distance myself from those two and hang out with nicer people from now on. Since I know where he works, should I go back there tonight and tell the guy how sorry I am and how it wasn't his fault my friend played such a mean trick on him? Part of me thinks it's a nice thing to do. Another part of me feels like it's just opening up a fresh wound and I shouldn't do anything. What do you guys think? Dang, what douchebags. I feel bad for you and the boyfriend if she's really instigating stuff like that. I think it would be nice and thoughtful to apologize. You might even make a new friend by doing so. If I was the guy, I wouldn't mind an apology from her friend. At least it would validate that she was the one being an ass instead of me being a loser. I would appreciate it if I were that poor bloke, and the radically distance thing is a very good idea. They will shit talk you for sure, so feel free to tell them they are terrible people first if you like, or not if you prefer. I would record them doing this sort of crap and send the videos to their parents, schools, social media, grandparents and jobs if I were you. But I like to punish bullies dramatically and in an over-the-top fashion. Smile. Good on you for being a decent person. Yeah, please go back to the guy. He probably took a major hit to his self-esteem and it's pretty fucked up of your ex-friends to do that. Just be like, you didn't realize what shitty people they are and you're sorry on their behalf, and not to pay them any attention because they won't get anywhere in life. You're a good person for thinking of going back to apologize. Smile. Then go tell your friend what a terrible person she was. Tell her boyfriend she's hitting on other guys at 4 AM. And stop hanging out with horrible people. If you're looking for new friends, Taco Bell guy sounds like a decent human being given how he reacted to everything. You definitely should, and never interact with those awful people again. How do I tell my 23F girlfriend, 24F, she smells without hurting her feelings? Let me premise this by saying, I love my girlfriend, I absolutely do. Before we even started dating, we have been best friends since the age of 12. We met in high school and immediately clicked. She's my person, my soulmate, the love of my life. I'll admit, the romantic side to our relationship is pretty fresh. We only started actually dating this year, after knowing each other for 12 years, and secretly being in love with each other but too afraid to say anything about it for 3. So, I love my girlfriend, but she smells. I first noticed her smell in high school, a mix between really bad BO and that horrible damp smell clothes that have been left in the washing machine overnight get. It didn't bother me back then, not really. I knew that her family wasn't the wealthiest, and to be honest I mostly just felt sorry for her. I knew that she wasn't allowed to wash her clothes as frequently as she should have been, all to save money, or that she skipped showers sometimes to save on the water bill. I had tried in the past to subtly get her to use my deodorant, or get her to spray my perfume on herself during school, but her smell never seemed to bother her, at least outwardly, and she certainly never said anything about it. In fact, she didn't seem to really be aware of it, so I tried to not let it bother me. And over time I got used to her smell. In fact, I completely stopped noticing it. Over the years other people have asked me about it, or have mentioned her smell, and I shrugged them off. I really had stopped noticing it. But here's the problem. We recently moved in together, finally, after years of dreaming about being roommates and talking about all the cool stuff we'd have in our apartment when we'd finally get our own place. We did it. It's small, and we share a bedroom, something we didn't originally plan on doing, as our romantic relationship is so new and we thought it might be best for us each to have our own space. Plus we hadn't planned on telling our parents about the level up, shall we say, of our relationship, something that is now no longer an issue. They're very supportive. It was my mom who first pointed out the funky smell lingering in our new place. She was coming to visit for the first time since we moved in, when my mother, God bless her, blurted out, "This place absolutely stinks." Upon first stepping foot inside, I was immediately irritated and embarrassed on my girlfriend's behalf. My mom has been pointing out my GF's smell for pretty much the entirety of our knowing each other. Told her that my GF's family was poor and basically everything I've told you guys, and she was sympathetic, though she did continue to bring it up over the years. Noticeably whenever my GF stayed the night at our house, my mom would always insist on changing my bed sheets after she left, and airing out my room, lighting incense or putting on our diffusers once she'd officially departed. She didn't want me to smell, or our house. I genuinely believe this was just a slip of the tongue on my mother's part, and that she did not mean to potentially humiliate my GF or upset her/me. But the damage was done. I had become aware of the smell again. The house did smell. And badly. Damp clothes. The same smell that had followed my GF around all throughout our teenage years. Now that I was aware of it once again, I was embarrassed. I've always prided myself on my cleanliness and personal hygiene. To me, smelling good and being clean is important. But now our new home smelled just like my GF. We've had people over since my mom, and I know they noticed the smell also. It's in the quick crinkle of their noses as they step foot inside, or the housewarming gift of expensive fragrant candles and essential oils. My mom even offered to buy us our own diffuser. My first thought of action was to attempt to get rid of the smell. Obviously, I washed my girlfriend's clothes with the best smelling detergent I could find, still packed in a suitcase and yet to be properly hung up. I told my girlfriend I just felt like doing laundry. She didn't seem to care, and wasn't bothered by my haul out of her suitcase. She just wore my stuff. Next I lit some of the many gifted candles to make the house smell a bit better. There's pretty much always one burning when we're home. It helped a lot. The house definitely smells a lot nicer than before. But here's the thing. My girlfriend still smells. I know she uses deodorant. I can see her using it each morning. And we've showered together plenty of times since we started dating. She definitely washes herself properly, soap and all. Though I don't understand where the horrible BO smell is coming from. Washing her clothes helped a lot with the damp smell, but since the first time I washed them, they've started to smell damp again. I told her if she accidentally forgets to take out her laundry and they still smell, she can just rewash them. It wasn't a big deal and money wasn't a factor, and she agreed. But that's pretty much the extent that came from that. Since I started noticing the smell again, I'll admit, I've been a little turned off. Sexually speaking, I love my girlfriend and our sex life is great. No, it's awesome. But I find myself not wanting to have sex with her smelling the way she does. In order to not hurt her feelings by saying anything, I started orchestrating us showering together as a kind of foreplay. That's helped a lot. But in the heat of the moment we don't always shower beforehand, and without being needlessly cruel or too grossly descriptive, Going down on her without a shower beforehand is just out of the question. A smell was never a deal breaker, so to speak, in the past, but now that we're dating and having sex, I can't go back to just ignoring it. I'm not going to break up with her over this, no way, but something's gotta give. So Reddit, I need your help. How do I tell my girlfriend that she needs to start taking better care of her personal hygiene without seeming like the world's worst girlfriend and, generally speaking, a total asshole? TL, doctor, my girlfriend has always had terrible BO and bad personal hygiene, and now that we're dating it's affecting our romantic/sexual relationship. How do I get her to take better care of herself without being cruel, or needlessly hurting her feelings? She could have something going on with any number of places on her body, and, like the other commenters are pointing out, she's likely lived with the smell for so long that she doesn't notice. Hear me out, sulfur soap. It's a harsh soap and should not be used daily. On time, see if it helps. Read the labels. I work with homeless, abused, and neglected children and teens, and, very often, we have youngsters come in with a history of bad hygiene. They just have a smell no matter how many times they shower or bathe. Sometimes we ask them to bathe with a bar of sulfur soap, and that usually clears things up. I will look into this. I think I'm definitely going to have to just grow a pair, so to speak, and somehow find a way to tell her as gently as possible that she smells. Just finding the right words is going to be uncomfortable. Most comments speak to think she has an undiagnosed medical issue, and I can definitely see where they are coming from. This is also something to consider. But again, how to tell her? If she's showering properly, brushing her teeth, and washing her clothes, and she still smells, and has since high school, I suspect something medical is going on. I'd encourage her to see her physician and delicately bring it up. If she's lived with it her whole life, I'm sure she doesn't even notice it. She regularly showers, and uses deodorant. As for washing her clothes properly, I think that's probably just a learned behavior. After years of not being allowed to wash her clothes properly, I've told her she can rewash her clothes, etc., that money isn't an issue and our water bill will be fine. But I think she is probably subconsciously trying to avoid wasting money by rewashing clothes, even when they still smell. I know she often rewears dirty stuff because that's what she has always done. Even when she wears freshly washed clothes she still smells. Something medical seems to be the common theme in the comments. But I don't know how to bring up something like that to someone, that they should see a doctor as they may have a medical issue. I don't want to frighten her or make her feel ashamed. It doesn't sound like an issue of not taking care of herself. You're doing her laundry and said she's showering regularly and properly. Something else is going on. That seems to be the case. Skeptical. I actually knew someone that had an odor for what seemed like her entire life. When she was in her 20s she said she found out she had some kind of fungus. I don't remember details, but maybe it's something biological. I'm realizing this may be the case. I just don't know how to bring it up. Maybe a weird question, but does she have any kind of medical condition that might be affecting her sense of smell? If not, then it may just be that she's grown so accustomed to the smell that she doesn't notice it anymore. I think what you need to do is have a talk with her, kindly and tactfully, to let her know what's going on. Tell her that it doesn't affect the way you feel about her, that she's still the most important person in your life, etc. It will be difficult for her to hear, I imagine, but if it's brought up the right way, hopefully she'll understand. She's perfectly healthy, medically, no issues to speak of that I can figure out. Her sense of smell is also normal. When my mom mentioned the odor in the house, my GF said she could smell it, but she seems to not notice her own smell, it seems. I don't want to humiliate her. I worry that if I bring it up now after years and years of friendship she may feel somewhat betrayed, as if I purposefully didn't mention it as some kind of joke or prank. I don't want her to feel as if I've been lying to her or thinking badly of her for our entire relationship. boyfriend doesn't acknowledge financial differences between us. I, 23F, always think I've been really clear with my boyfriend, 26M, that I don't have the same financial background as him, but then he says something stupid like, do you want to invest in stocks with me, and ruins the illusion of understanding. I grew up under the poverty line. I have since detached myself from my family completely. I sometimes have to use the food bank. I rely a lot on government funds and am paying my own way through university with loans. My boyfriend lives with his parents in a multi-million-dollar house. His mom pays for his school. His grandmother gave him his car as a gift. I wanted to believe that none of this would be a problem. I didn't even notice it until the first time we went grocery shopping together and he berated me for not going for the brand name snacks. It's only a couple of dollars different, he said. That blew my mind. Then other things started happening. My car broke down and my plan only covered a free tow to the nearest repair shop. His mom told me she would pay the difference and I should get it towed to the shop closer to my place. That was $120, and because she said she would cover it, I went for it. My boyfriend then told his mom not to worry about it and that I had it covered. I most definitely did not have that covered and could really use that $120. Tonight his mom was getting us dinner, but he wanted to nap. He slept through dinner and now I'm starving with no money for food and my free meal ticket has evaporated. Feel like this double pisses me off because he sleeps all day and is up all night, because he's unemployed and was kicked out of school for plagiarism. I freaked out when he was kicked out of school. I asked him how he'd handle his loans going into repayment, which is when he told me that his mom has been paying for his school. When I gave a shocked look, he said she just wants me to get ahead in life. A double stinger because my mom, and he knows this, is a narcissistic bitch who steals money from me and constantly tries to tear me down, which is why I've gone no contact with her. I feel like I've done everything I can to explain to him that I have a different living situation than him. I bring up the importance of social security nets in society, and he just interrupts me and calls me a commie. If I'm being honest, fuck this. I don't want to be in poverty anymore. I don't want to have to fight to be in the classroom getting my degree when my dumb as rocks boyfriend gets a free ride and can't even write a proper bibliography. I just feel like giving up completely. Any advice would be nice.